Hey y'all, and welcome to the Southland Piper. I'm your host Tim. Hope you're doing well today. Well, in the video today, I'm going to attempt to make a thing. And that thing is a tool to help me clean out the mortise on pipe stummels. I'll be using this 1/4 inch square steel stock. It's 12 inches long, and we'll cut it down and make a few modifications and see if this works out. So let's get started. First thing I did was cut a 4-inch piece out of the bar, and I flattened one side. And now I'm going to put a diagonal on that end of the stock, and that'll be explained a little later on. Now I'm going to round off the back side of the tool. Want to stay away from that flat edge that I sanded down, and just round it off to a smaller size so it'll fit into the mortise more easily. Also, something else that y'all have seen from time to time, a good old golf ball that I use, put a little sandpaper here and work on the rim. The reason that golf ball has a hole in it makes a great handle for a file, nice and comfortable in the hand. But that's why the golf ball has a hole. All right, well, we're getting closer. It's looking pretty good. I've got this angle set here, so as you turn it, that edge will be leading. You can set it up either way, as long as you're turning it correctly. You just want to lead with that end right there. That's at an angle. Turn that way. I'm doing some sanding. We've got to make sure this side is good and flat, and this will be the working edge right here. So we'll just get right here. There we go. Just continue to sand on it and get it in shape, and I'll show you when we're done. I'll take a little bit of a break from sanding this. It's getting close, but just needs a little bit more. First of all, let me say that this is not my idea. I saw a presenter using this tool a couple years ago, and I should have saved the video. I didn't, but I did take notes, and I ran across the notes the other day, and I said, I got to make one of those. So no, this is not my idea, but I do appreciate the presenter that did show this. This tool is used to clean out the pipe mortise. And some people would say, well, Tim, why don't you just get a reamer that fits down into that mortise? Well, you could do that. But the likelihood, well, number one, you'd have to get multiples of these, where this one is cut smaller than diameter, and it'll just ride on the inside of the mortise. But if you take this reamer and go into a pipe stummel shank and ream that out and back to a nice round cylinder shape, you could create another problem, another issue. And here's a pipe that demonstrates that. Now, you see it on a lot of older pipes. This is a Comoy's Christmas pipe, 1994. And what happens with pipes as they age and you smoke them and such, the wood's contracting and expanding and all the good stuff. As you smoke it, it cools back down. Well, you'll get the stem will get a little loose. And if you turn it on, and this one will come out pretty easy, just right out right here, but it'll move pretty good. But if you turn it around, it really tightens up, and now I cannot pull it apart. And what happens there is these shanks and stems, they get out of round. It's not necessarily very obvious, but they're no longer round. They're more of a oval. And if you go in with the reamer and make a nice round mortise again, you're going to have a stem that doesn't fit very well at all. So that's the reason for it. Like I said, a little loose there, but when you tighten it, turn it tightens on down, locks in. So that's the reason you use this and not this. So I'm gonna get back on sanding this bottom edge, this bottom side, and we're getting closer. Let's take a second and talk about why you would actually want to create a reaming tool for your mortise. Here's a custom built that I haven't worked on yet, but let's take the stem out and let's get a measurement of the mortise. Let's see, a little bit more. All right, let's see. All right, I've got it on the lip of the bore hole. So the mortise is 23, almost 24 millimeters deep in the stummel. And if we look at the stem, I'll put it right there, you can see it's quite a bit shorter, and actually you've got this offset in the stem. And so you're only contacting the tenon's only contacting the mortise from here to here. And so you got this area, and then in front of it that is not in contact with the tenon of the stem. And I'm not an artist, but this is basically what happened. Right here's your mortise and your stummel, and we'll pretend this piece of PVC is the tenon, stem tenon. It's going to come in and it's going to stop. They're not drilled all the way to bottom out or made to bottom out. They're going to be back in this area. So you're always going to have an area between the draft and the end of the tenon that's going to have an area that can build up with different materials, tars and such. So you want to be able to go in and clean out those areas effectively. Now you can go in and use a folded up pipe cleaner and scrub around. You can use Q-tips and such. Well, you can still do that, but first you'd want to go in with this reamer and get the majority of that. And it'll save you a lot of cleaning time if you have a little tool that you can go in and ream out your mortise. All right, I've got a little GBD Constitution, looks like. Anyway, GBD. Let's see how it does on this one. We'll go down and feel for that bottom. There we go. Oh yeah, that works pretty well. If a pipe's moderately dirty, this might not have a lot of effect. But if you, just like, when you ream a pipe bowl, but if you've got one that, especially somebody's that just about smoked one till it will no longer smoke, this may be a pretty handy little tool. Well, I'll refine my technique. May have to make a smaller version of this, but it very well seems to be a handy little tool. If I can see down in there. Well, yeah, I can. I don't know how well y'all can see down in there, but what I accomplished is I can see all the way down to the mortise, and that bottom of the mortise is shiny, but I can't see through the the bore at all. There's all kinds of gunk down in there. So I think this tool has its place and will be handy in the future. And that's it for this making of a thing, mortise planer, reamer, I guess you'd call it. But I appreciate you sharing your time with me today, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.